it's your watch and media. Will be a phone that I'm not trying to down here.
A new channel. When you do that,
yo, ni chame, we play over. We play kunya bene kunya okay na few. Ago we be aka ago yo nika wo chame ko ni. If I need any people like we wanna ni me to go in what thing ko ko we got few the phone if Your Royal Majesty, chiefs, paramount chiefs, our priests, our elders, our queen mothers, our executives of the King's Court, our good friends of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. We bring peace, love, and warm greetings this morning as we are receiving an August visitor. It is a little weird that I'm having to sit on this side of the hall, but it has become custom nowadays. So before I say anything extra, I believe that it's important that we introduce ourselves as custom demands. My name is Nathaniel Ama Ato. I'm originally on a regular day, I'm a son and a grandson of the king. But today, permission has been granted for me to sit on this side for the purposes of this visit. For the purpose of this visit as well, I am an alumnus of the International Visitor Leadership Program of the U.S. Embassy. And today, we're glad to have the lead and the representative of the United States of America here in Ghana when it comes to government relations. Before I introduce her, I would like to introduce Mr. Benson, who is a senior political specialist with the embassy, with a minimum of 25 years of experience, showing a lot of dedication, a lot of loyalty, and gaining a lot of experience on the ground. And then at this time as well, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Her Excellency Virginia Powell, who is the U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, a good friend of the Ghana state, who has been very present, very visible in many of the things that we have done, and would like to immediately refer to the state burial of our beloved departed Ghana. She was here with her delegation, and she supported the Ghana state and you, the king, for this burial. And so today, she has come here with peace, love, warmth, and good tidings as we look forward to rolling out our traditional calendar for the rest of the year. So, Ochami.
Security Director, Deputy. That was it.
Welcome you to this house. We take it that you believe in the saying among the guys who says that to a friend's house, the road is never known. And therefore, this is a signal that we'll be seeing more of. Secondly, we note that we are here to build friendship, which is the mandate of the mission. And if we look back at our relations with the U.S., it started on a note of friendship. Gifford Camp, which was built for the soldiers in Birmingham, what is now Birmingham, it used to be Gifford Camp. And the soldiers got that land from, that is helping to deal with threats from terrorism, other allied threats. We've also had occasions where so many senior officials have been sent on scholarships to the US, and various types of scholarships. He mentioned that it was one of those. I am also an alumni of the American Center for Strategic Studies. So in the year that we were selected, I went with General K.T. who was the Army commander from that. So I'm also a beneficiary of your programs. We also know the amount of aid we are giving through the USAID to assist Ghana in various fields. I also note that in terms of diplomatic training, we've offered a number of scholarships to Ghanaian foreign service officials to go for programs in the US in different universities. Fortunately for us, we also have a wing of the US, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which has been working with the Ghana state closely. And I'm sure just a few days ago you must have heard about the project which was commissioned through the assistant of the Victoria Memorial School at Accra. There are so many areas we can mention, but for a lot of time, let me just refer to these ones which I've gone into some detail about. We hope that we will be seeing more of this cooperation, more of this friendship between Europe and the sea and the Gas State. This being the capital, it is important that this relationship will be nurtured. Let me say, by way of comment, that, you know, although we speak about friendship, just like the tongue is in the mouth and sometimes it gets bitten a bit by the teeth, they accept that they have to cohabitate. So both the tongue and the teeth know how to play their roles without causing too many irritants. So in the same thing in life, we do get a few irritants here and there. It's normal. It's the way they are handled or dealt with which is more important. And therefore, I like to say that as a mission, one of the big jobs you have is consular protection of your citizens and consular relations for the residents of the country. And this is where the optics do not look completely good. We think that as friends, it should be possible to deal with this matter in a way that will make everybody comfortable. So I'm saying that yes, there are security reasons we have to look at, applications. There are other consular reasons for which you have to look at applications seriously. But at the same time, you don't want a situation where your friends cannot visit you. That will undermine policy. Because the big picture is that we want to be friends. So we hope that this matter will be addressed in order not to make us look like we can't visit our friends in their homes. So I do hope that this matter will be seriously considered. I also think that when I was Director of Policy Planning in the Foreign Ministry, we made two recommendations which I do not see implemented as yet, but which we think can be canvassed. The first is that, visa fees are quite steep for our people. And when many of them sell properties and heirlooms just to pay visa fees and travel, it is a very serious matter. And when they are refused, which is to be expected in some cases, they don't get refunded visa fees. And we don't want the relationship to look like we are using visa for revenue generation more than the friendship we want to build. So I do hope that this is one matter which you can take a look at. It has been flagged already before. And the second thing is whether we can look at reciprocal visa fees so that we know that friendship is on an even keel. There's a balance. So on behalf of our chiefs, our elders, all the people represented here, on behalf of the council, I'm recommending to your good council these matters which I believe can be removed and can help us to strengthen relations in a very big way. Thank you very much.
I go New Channel. Find a bed, cleaning, okay, Your Royal Majesty, Paramount Chiefs, King's Council, executives, our friends, our Queen Mothers, ladies and gentlemen, it's said in our African tradition that you do not go to the King's court empty handed. This is rooted heavily in tradition that we have our kings and our chiefs as the embodiment of our culture, the embodiment of our tradition, the embodiment of everything we represent, our norms and our values and every other thing that defines us. Therefore, anytime we are coming before your presence as our king, it is important that we also bring with us little tokens that will show, first of all, our respect for your office, our respect for tradition, and our adherence to laid down culture. So today, of Her Excellency the Ambassador, I wish to present these customary gifts as a token of our respect to the student. Yo, near Jamaica. Finding there was no people who need captain or war. And if you need a your Your Royal Majesty, Your Excellency, our Queen Mothers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our friends from the Dusty. At this time, I would like to introduce to us Her Excellency Regina Palmer, U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, to address us. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Royal Majesty, Paramount Chiefs, members of court, Queen Mothers, executives of the court, and representing two of the most respected institutions in Ghana, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the courts, as well as my fellow countrymen. It is a great honor to be here today to formally call on His Majesty and to continue a conversation began at the Silver Jubilee of the Asante. And I would like to address some of the comments that you raised through the ambassador, but I will first note how significant I think your leadership is and how much importance I place in your role as embodiment of the culture of your people, but also a gatekeeper for those values. And progressive traditional authorities wield amazing power for good, to do things that I know you are committed to for the girl child, for example. and also for the betterment of your people. So I come to seek counsel about how the U.S. Embassy and the United States government can have better relations with your people and can make a greater contribution to the people of your kingdom. And also to seek your advice about chieftaincy disputes in Ghana, which are a source of some violence. For example, in the Northeast, I would very much appreciate your wisdom about how we can be helpful to that, including through things like alternative dispute resolution training for chiefs. And I know that many chiefs could teach those classes rather than be in those classes, but sometimes help to speed the processes of the houses of chiefs or of individual courts when traditional courts might be helpful. And I would like to address some of the visa issues, if I may. I had asked the Consul General to accompany me to call on you. And unfortunately, the embassy in the summer months is dealing with more than 10,000 visa applications for university students going to the United States to study. And we're trying to get those visas completed so that students don't miss the beginning of class in September. And there is indeed a global backlog of visas, and you've seen the lines, and I am embarrassed about it, and we are working hard to address those backlogs. The visa fees are not to make money. It's a cost recovery system, so it costs that much to have the computer systems that we use for security, to have the American officers that are running the program. I think that since it's a cost recovery system, it should allow us to hire more people to address the backlog. So we're working on that. And the reciprocity issue we can address in terms of the length of the visas granted. And we want to grant as long a visa as possible so that we don't have to do more interviews. But we only do it on a reciprocal basis. So as long as Ghana will give Americans for the validity of the visa, we can do that. But if I may, I will ask the Consul General to make a separate meeting with members of your administration to talk further about those issues, if I may. And so that they can be helpful when you have a particular case that needs attention and needs expeditious treatment from the embassy. We have to keep things fair, but I very much value your counsel about which ones are important and need to go quickly. And I will conclude, after having asked some of those questions, please, and look forward to the discussion, with thanks for the loan of your son and grandson. We also claim him as our son, since he is here, on a program which recognizes very distinguished young people. Thank you very much for your assistance. Thank you very much.
U.S. Ambassador to Ghana.
Excuse me, this has been a big week for us as we have joined together to bless the rising generation in significant ways. We're so grateful for this invitation today. This was unexpected to be here with Ambassador Palmer. Ambassador Palmer, we're so grateful that you are here representing the United States of America. We love the United States of America, and we love the country of Ghana, and we love our dear friends here in Accra, and we have developed a very close relationship. It's a family relationship with our dear friends here as we represent the United States of America. It's an honor, an absolute honor, to be able to do so. So as we come here from the United States and we join with wonderful leaders like Ambassador Palmer, we feel that there is a connection to help build a better world. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's why we have connected so dearly and so deeply here with you, Your Majesty, and the rest of our dear friends, the rest of the leadership in the Ga State, because we know the power of influence. And Ambassador Palmer has a tremendous reputation. She only wants to do, I know this, only wants to do what's right and to work collaborative in everything that we do to learn from each country. What can we learn from here? What can you learn from the United States of America? So this is an honor on behalf of all of us with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and because of the kindness of you inviting us here. We don't want to take away from this meeting by any stretch of the imagination, but we're so grateful, Ambassador Palmer, for you and your entire leadership to represent the United States here with our dear family and friends of the God State under the leadership of His Majesty. Tackie, Teiko, Tsuru, the second.
You tell me.
You tell me. Your Excellency, at this stage, we will now take a listen to our father, the King of the Ghana State, His Royal Majesty, King Tackie Teiko II.
Aku cakap ni.
Amen. Yeah.
You know, he says it so well, my name. Seldomly does someone mention my name and doesn't let her. Did you learn how to do that? Did you learn how to say my name?
It was a very smart thing for me to learn.
We are very grateful, Your Excellency, for this visit. I deem it an honor. I believe also that this begins a very, very important step in our life and this relationship. On Wednesday, we had to inaugurate the Mantse School. The Mantse School is a school that was forged my forebearers. And in fact, it has been really in a deplorable state. On my 50th birthday, I paid a visit to the school. And I saw the way it was. And then he had been posted to Accra as the West African president for the West African area. And he had been posted to Accra, and he came home and we had lunch. And I told him about the school, a number of projects, and they invited us to Utah. And you did very well. You gave us a basis to be able to go to the meeting, the conference in Utah. And me Simpe and Asafachimangata and others, and the Traditional Council, we had a good time, you know, and we're hosted by the Sterling Foundation. And later on, we've made friends with the Maxfield Foundation also. All contributors, you know, to this major project, you know, major milestone that we have chalked. And we do not take it cheaply at all. It's very serious for us because of what this facility is going to do within the community, especially for over 1,000 children. And we believe that from this day that we have inaugurated the school, enrollment will go very high because it has become an ultra-modern space for study of, you know, knowledge and excellence. We believe that it's a great contribution from the United States, as much as it's from the Latter-day Church. And we are grateful for this collaboration. You talked about alternative dispute resolution and chieftaincy and the disputes that we have, especially in the northern region. We still also have some very serious disputes in the Greater Accra region also. And basically what happens is that the traditional courts do not have jurisdiction over a matter or cause affecting chieftaincy. It's basically the traditional courts that have this jurisdiction. So we have the traditional councils that have courts or judicial committees, and then it's in an appellate situation, it goes to the regional house of chiefs, and if it's a matter concerning chieftain with a paramountcy, then it starts from the regional house of chiefs, then the appellate court becomes the national house of chiefs, then it's finally determined at the Supreme Court. So basically, these are the levels. Now, alternative dispute resolution is even much cheaper and better. We believe that the whole institution of chieftaincy holds our culture, norms, and usages, but then is very ill resourced. We believe that a collaboration between the states, especially the Ghana state, regarding this institution, with American embassy, find out and fine-tune methods with which we could resolve the bilateral, on the ways to make these foundations help, that sort of thing, or resource. The Ghana Girl Child Project is a major project because what it does is that it seeks to equal the enrollment of the girl child and boy child in retention, in transition, in achievement, and in completion. Now, if a girl falls in transition from one stage to the other, then there is the ability of learning a vocation, an entrepreneurial skill, or skill to develop herself, may even develop arts. If she gets pregnant in her transition, we'll make sure that she's steered out of that way, and then still will have to continue with school. Then we have a very serious, more important, specialized department of the fetal alcohol syndrome, which is prevalent in most communities we have in the Greater Accra region. Most young girls, when they become pregnant, are rejected by family. Because of that, they have access to use for certain influences. Then it affects the brain development of the child or the children they bear. Because of that, fetal alcohol syndrome is a serious problem. We believe that we have to have specialized skill. And I believe that the USA has specialized skill, and knowledge base for it. Then we have like Mantse, ICT and skill development. Recently we are planning as chief to bring in a group which is also a US-based group, the Fashion AI for Smart City Development, with maps and all that. And we are thinking about building an innovation center for cognitive AI technology, because we believe that that is the time for now, that we can train up children and the youth in cognitive AI technology, and even make Ghana the hub. So we have taken the investor to the president. Basically, all these things are steps that we are doing with the United States, and it's on your blind side. Today, as you have reached here, we believe that all these things would be passed by you, so that you see the value placed in the relationship that we want to build with your country. We believe that mutually we can benefit apart from the cultural diversity that we enjoy. And then there are so many of our Gadambe indigenes in the diaspora in the US. They have several groups like the Gadambe International, the Gadambe, several Gadambe groups in every state in the United States, and they all hold an embodiment of our cultural values, usage, and norms. They all relate to the chiefs here. And we believe that that connection, if tapped into, should be able to give us a certain foundation, for progress and for purpose. So on that note, I will end here. But I believe that we have a lot of things that we can do together mutually that will benefit our city-states, and we believe also that it will help us a lot. The last thing I want to talk about really is about our waste management effort. Waste management has become a very serious problem for us because of the way waste is handled especially in the city of Accra. In most cities, we see that the isolated city-state of waste management is employed because bulk breaking centers are not brought into the city center. They are on the outskirts of the cities. And then you have packaging centers. And then you have biodegradable plastics or the paper, package it and bring it into the city center. So not much waste is done in the city center, so that then you would have to hire and pay for it to be taken out of the city. In here is in the reverse, because all the waste is brought into the center and then we have to pay heavily to get it out. That is what has created the kind of confusion we have with our waste. We have decided as chiefs to partner with them, and then our Asafwa chairman, to clean the city now, to take the bull by the horn, and then we will need advice, counsel, on your waste management methods. Single-use plastic has become a menace to us. It's everywhere. Right now, what it has done is that its marriage with the salinity of the sea has caused all our coral reefs to deplete. Because of that, the fish cannot spawn. Ghana, it's on the Gulf of Guinea and has a wide, over 200 nautical miles of continental shelf. The most beautiful beaches that you could ever have. Better than Hawaii. And still in very deplorable state because of plastic. Single-use plastics. We believe that if we can have the technology of ensuring that we have biodegradable plastics, or at least, force and use of paper, you understand, to package. Because they are biodegradable, we'll have less rubbish, or refuse, or litter. And then also the aspect of the education, keeping waste, segregated, so that you can also recycle this waste, in color-coded bins. And it will demand some education. That is why we must collaborate with the United States government at all costs, especially its President, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, at this time, give another opportunity to make some final remarks following this wonderful address that was given us by His Majesty.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty, members of the court. I know, in fact, another response is not customary, but I hope that this is the beginning of a rich conversation. And I would like to conclude by saying that I am tardy in calling on you, but it is my very great honor to have been to begin this conversation today that I hope will continue. And your remarks made me think of many things. I would like to acknowledge the work that the American churches do in Ghana, and particularly the Church of the Latter-day Saints. And I must thank you, the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, and I have corresponded by email but not met in person. So we must thank you for the in-person introduction to a member of your family. And your comments about the breadth of issues that you're engaged in make me appreciate further your leadership for your people across a very wide range of issues. And I will, where I can, engage with U.S. government programs, and then where we don't have programs, for example, in artificial intelligence, I would be happy to facilitate an introduction to Google, for example, which is headquartered in Ghana and very interested. This is their Artificial Intelligence Research Center, and they will be very excited to know of your plans for young people in your kingdom. And I've taken note of all of the other issues that you raise and look forward to working together and to continuing the conversation. Thank you very much.
Agree to continue with conversations
I know you're working together. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Dear ladies, thank you. Thank you very much for setting this up. I appreciate it.
So we'll come back.
Okay, good.
Check out the woman.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you very much. Okay.